Slam it home. Steele scores!
Toyotathon is on. Time to make the holidays picture perfect with a new Toyota, like Camry, Tacoma, Grand Highlander, and more. Celebrate the season with a new Toyota. We're gonna need a bigger tree.
Right now, you can get 3.99% APR financing plus $1,000 cash back on a new Tacoma when you finance through Toyota Financial Services.
'Tis the season for Toyotathon.
Toyota, let's go places.
Prices from local businesses. It's just a buck per buck.
Welcome into the broadcast booth here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. Coming up in pregame, we'll have all sorts of things. We'll have your matchup preview, your lineups, all leading up to puck drop at 7:05 this evening. But we'll first start off with what's on tap here with the Capitals this weekend. Hey, Caps fans, welcome into another edition of What's on Tap. This week, we first want to start off with congratulating Rangers Rollers. Announced the other day that he has made the Latvian preliminary junior team to compete in the World Junior Championships. He'll compete in camp to get down to that roster, but he has made the roster the past 2 seasons, and the Capitals are fully expecting him to do just that once again. Coming off of a split last weekend, the Capitals now sit in a tie for 4th place here in the Eastern Conference with Muskegon at 26 points. The Capitals are back at home this week as they face off against the Dubuque Fighting Saints on Saturday and Cedar Rapids on Sunday. Saturday, it's Wisconsin night, presented by New Glarus Brewing Company. With that, the Capitals will be rebranding to the Wisconsin Ice Holes for a day. You'll see the jerseys on your screen. There will also be specials on all things Wisconsin that night, so be on the lookout in the concourse, and there might even be a couple special items for you to buy throughout the game as well. Then on Sunday, when the Capitals face off against Cedar Rapids, it's a post-game skate, the first of the season, so make sure you bring your skates as you'll be able to skate with the team following the game. It's something cool that the Capitals do on every Sunday game, so February 4th, the other one. There'll be a couple others that pop up throughout the year, but make sure you're on the lookout and be ready to skate with the team on Sunday. You'll be able to get autographs, take pictures, the whole shebang as they face off against Cedar Rapids on Sunday. Puck drop at 3:05 on that one, compared to the traditional 7:05 in every other game here this season. Before we go, there's only one goal that could qualify for goal of the week. There's another goal on the Saturday game where Austin Bernovic once again did something, but we got to go to Austin Bernovic's Friday night goal. 160,000 some odd impressions on Twitter. You look at Bucci Gross, Bleacher Report. They all had it. Here's that goal of the week presented by Play It Again Sports. 2 for 2 on the kill tonight. As Madison starts up ice, gets it ahead for Bernovic already with 1 tonight. Bernovic with a chance through the 5-hole. He did it on the backhand toe drag. What a goal! Fresh out of the penalty box, fresh onto the scoreboard. Goal number 2 of the night. This is going to be one of the prettiest goals. You see backhand toe drag through the 5-hole at Christian Mans. Absolutely dirty from Bernovic. What a goal that was. Remember, the Capitals are back right here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena on Saturday night at 7:05 to face off against Dubuque. Wisconsin night, it's the Wisconsin Ice Holes against the Dubuque Fighting Saints. Specialty jerseys auctioned off online. Then Sunday, it's a post-game skate, as those are always fun to get to as well as the Capitals face off against Cedar Rapids. Be a part of the action this weekend. And one last thing before we go Caps, go. Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. Drew Steele, the voice of the Caps, or I should say the voice of the Holes, coming at you here this evening as the Wisconsin Ice Holes, the rebrand tonight as the Wisconsin Ice Holes set to host the Dubuque Fighting Saints. I'll refer to them as the Caps and the Holes throughout the night, so either way, you know who we're talking about there on that side as they host the Dubuque Fighting Saints. First matchup between these two teams here this season, and it should be an exciting one. Dubuque's played some exciting hockey as of late as well. We'll get to that throughout here in the pregame coverage. We'll first start off with matchup preview. We'll get to your lineups, and it's all leading up to puck drop at 7:05 here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. But first, we're going to start off by talking about last weekend as the Capitals had a home-and-home series with the Chicago Steele. Friday night couldn't have went better for Madison. 6-1 victory. They go to Geneva the next day to face off against the Steele. And Chicago just got the better of the Capitals in overtime. The Caps do extend the point streak to 4 games. James Hong did the same. We'll get to that when we get to lineups as well. Now let's take a look at the visiting Dubuque Fighting Saints here this evening, coming with a record of 15-5, 1-2, and in sole possession of first place in the Eastern Conference with that record. The Capitals at a 10-6, 4-2 mark on their end in sole possession, or in a tie for 4th place, but in games in hand over Muskegon, enter in that 4th place with the tiebreaker at the moment in that games in hand section. Dubuque last night benefiting from Green Bay falling in a shootout to Chicago up at the Rush Center, and they'll look to extend their lead here this evening. Green Bay already out in front against Chicago in Geneva here this evening, so we'll take a quick look at that throughout the broadcast. If you're a Dubuque fan just tuning in for the evening, we appreciate you joining me. Again, my name's Drew Steele. I'll be captaining the ship going through your ocean all evening long. The goaltending matchup for tonight's matchup, Kevin Radler will start for Dubuque, and realistically, you had to assume that he was going to get the start. Out of all their games this season, he's played in 18, not started 18, but has played in 18 games for the Saints this season. A 12-3, 1-2 record to his name, .904 save percentage, and a .304 goals against average. On the other side for Madison, it's Carson Musser. Start number 12 of the season for Musser, 5.22 and 2 on the year, .266 goals against average with a .905 save percentage to bump his career numbers up to 11-10, 5-3 in his career, .369 goals against average, and an .877 save percentage to his name here in his USHL career. Of course, playing the first 2 years at the National Team Development Program. Some storylines for tonight before we get into the rest of the pregame. It'll be without some of your best players on the ice. World Junior A Challenge, and that's only going to get lower and lower for both of these teams as players go to the World Junior Championships starting tomorrow for Madison with Reiners Rullers, this being his last game before he reports to Latvian preliminary team camp here next week. Brink and Felicio out for Madison here this evening. The Caps won in Green Bay in the one game where either of those players didn't play. Felicio, a healthy scratch in that game back in November in that one. So Felicio, 21 games played to his name. Brink has played in every game this season and has been a mainstay in the Capitals' offensive play this season. But luckily the Caps are getting back Max Nagel into the fold, out last weekend due to injury, and in the lineup here this weekend looking for point number 20, and he'll be with Bernovic and Rollers on that second line. On the Dubuque side, they're without James Reeder at the World Junior A Challenge. 24 points to his name, an alternate captain for this squad. That's a big miss, as you can tell that something was just missing. Obviously, you have to shuffle lines a little bit. He had been playing with Sondriel and Pekarsik up to that point, leaving, and, you know, those are your top 2 of your scorers there, and Sondriel and Pekarsik. Pekarsik enters with a 9-game point streak here this evening as well. We'll have a whole bunch more on the lineup coming up after this. It's all leading up to puck drop here on the Caps Broadcast Network. It's Ice Holes Hockey right here on the Caps Radio Network on YouTube.
Toyotathon is on. Time to make the holidays picture perfect with a new Toyota, like Camry, Tacoma, Grand Highlander, and more. Celebrate the season with a new Toyota. We're gonna need a bigger tree.
Right now, you can get 3.99% APR financing plus $1,000 cash back on a new Tacoma when you finance through Toyota Financial Services.
'Tis the season for Toyotathon.
Toyota, let's go.
Home. Steele scores! Welcome back into the broadcast booth as it's time to take a look at your lineups presented by MadCapsHockey.com. MadCapsHockey.com, your one-stop shop for all things Capitals here this season. We'll first start off with the visiting Dubuque Fighting Saints. Matthew Desiderio and James Reeder out tonight for the Saints. Up front, it's Cornforth, Paulson, and LaPinta on line one. Pekarsik, Sondriel, and Frank on the second line. Powell, Aaron, and Barron on line three with Romeo, Merrill, and Giuliani rounding things out up front for the Saints. Andrew King is the extra forward for Dubuque this evening. On the back end, it's Scott and Bison on pair one. St. Louis and Dick on line two. Powell and Jubinville will be pair three with Malbuff as the extra defenseman for the Saints here this evening. Kevin Radler in goal for the Saints, making appearance number 19 on the season. For Madison, out this evening is Finn Brink, Will Felicio, both at the World Junior A Challenge, a healthy scratch of Nate Murray. Brandt, Kuzma, and Hong up front for the Caps. Bernovic, Rullers, and Nagel on line two. Delaney, Lamb, and O'Donnell on line three. Long, Rice, and Capel on line four, with Nate Porter, the extra forward tonight for Madison. On the back end, it's Michaud and Elias, Henry and Barloggy, Jamison and Toby, and James Mackey, the extra skater on defense for Madison here this evening. The Wisconsin Ice Holes in goal tonight, Carson Musser, 11 games played, 5-2, 2-2 record with a .266, as .905 save percentage to his credit. Puck drop right around the corner. Here we'll pause for the national anthem. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on the Capitals Broadcast Network. Welcome into the broadcast booth here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. My name is Drew Steele, and I'll be captaining the ship going through your ear ocean all evening long. The Capitals, I should say Ice Holes, set to face off against the Dubuque Fighting Saints here on Wisconsin night, presented by our friends at New Glarus Brewing Company. The Capitals coming with a record of 10-6, 4-2 on the year as they'll travel right to left across your Flow Hockey screen and Caps radio dial. Dubuque Fighting Saints, the opponent for tonight's game, 15-5, 1-2 record to their name after winning last night against the Des Moines Buccaneers, as they will travel left to right. Red helmets, white tops, red pant, and white sock there for the Saints. Should be an excellent night of hockey here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena as we are just about ready to get things underway. Officiating tonight's game are referee Daniel Fagan, as well as linesman Bryce Fetzer and Jacob Rosenberg. The first matchup between these two teams here this season, it'll be the first of 4, 2 at each home venue, as the two teams, the closest opponents for each team on the schedule. It's about an hour and 15-minute drive, give or take a couple minutes there, as we are just about ready for some Capitals hockey here at Cap Ice. We get the word that we're good to go. Lamb alongside his centerman on the other side in Teddy Merrill. Get ready to do battle in the circle just like these two teams will for 60 minutes of regulation. More if we need to later on as we're underway here in Middleton. Faceoff was won by the Capitals, but Dubuque right on it as they'll chip it up that far side wall. Elias ahead, just gets it right back to the Saints, though, and into the offensive zone comes Dubuque. On the near side, it's poked off the stick. Delaney takes a hack at it and sends it out towards neutral ice, where Fisher Scott will send it right back in. Musser kind of kicked it around a bit, but Michaud able to chip it out to the point. Right back to him it comes, and the Capitals able to slow things down here on the first shift of the night. Dubuque bench has to take warning as a Delaney deflection tips into the bench, as we will get a first whistle of the game just 38 seconds into play. Goaltending matchup for tonight's game presented by MadCapsHockey.com. MadCapsHockey.com, your one-stop shop for all things Capitals this season. Carson Musser for the Capitals, 5-2-2-2 record, 266 goals against, and a .905 save percentage. On the other side, it's Kevin Radler, an 11-3-1-2 record to his name, 3.04 goals against average, and a .904 save percentage to his name. Brnovik keeps things moving forward that time, trying to send it down in deep. Instead, it gets caught up and deflected up into his grill that time, and the Capitals spin back and will start the rush up ice. Brnovik lined up on the left wing tonight for the first time this season. A left-hand shot lining up on his strong side for the first time, as he'd typically been playing that right side. And things have been going good for Brnovik and company thus far for Madison, as, of course, there will be some shakeup on this line coming soon for the Capitals. Reiners Rollers in his last game before the World Junior Championships in Sweden. It'll actually take place towards the end of the month, but he's got camp in Latvia here upcoming next week. A whistle at 18:43 to go, period number one, as that shot on coming from the near side from Caleb Dick. Faceoff will be on the near side to the left of Musser in goal. Musser's been a great story for Madison this season. Maybe not the greatest start out of the gate. He was still doing great, though, for this Madison team, but at the same time, he was kind of in the shadow of Patrice Berzinch. Berzinch, of course, has struggled as of late, and while that's happening, Musser was able to climb the standings kind of quietly at the same time. The goaltending statistic leaders here in the USHL. Dubuque sends this one down in deep. The aforementioned Musser will play it with his forehand and ring it around up the near side wall. Frank doesn't know about the Cap Ice bounce right by the Zamboni doors, and it goes to neutral instead. Long has that one jump over his stick. Toby plays it along that time, looking for Sam Capel, lined up with Long and Rice on the fourth unit here this evening. Capel plays the body as Dubuque turns it over to Kuzma. Kuzma in the high slot, a toe drag, a backhand shot. Radler holds on for a whistle, 2 minutes even into period number one. That's a great time to take a look at our floor and decor replay there on Flow Hockey. Coming for an unmatched selection of high-quality products, all at everyday low prices, and see how easy creating the space to match your taste can be. Discover your new Floor and Decor, now open in Monona and online at flooranddecor.com. Face-off will be on the far side to the left of Radler in goal. It's the top unit for Madison, which includes James Hong on a 6-game point streak to his credit right now, averaging over a point per game since late October. Elias with a shot that's blockered away. Elias down to his feet, pops back up, and he'll head to the bench. Looks like he got a stick up high on the follow-through there of this attempted shot block as Noah Powell will head for Michael Barron, and the Saints come the other way. Gets caught up in the feet that time of Barloghi. Transition game back and forth. It's the Saints on it, entering the zone once again. Powell backhands that one down to the far side corner. Michaud there for it. Michaud continues along, looking that time for Andrew Kuzma. Instead, it's Barloghi up against the end wall. Michaud, far side, deflected out towards neutral ice. Fisher Scott there will play it. He actually scored his first goal against his Capital squad last year on a Friday night. It was, of course, February 24th. Didn't quite know that, but thanks to our great friends at the Dubuque Fighting Saints for providing us with some stats here this evening. St. Louis looking to feed at that time to King, coming fresh off the bench. King now in the slot, had his pass intended for him deflected out towards neutral ice. I mentioned St. Louis. St. Louis with a pair of power play goals in the Saints win on Friday night. The Capitals did not play last night as we get an icing on the Capitals. 16:46 to go, period number 1. Capitals resting last night. Dubuque playing at home against the Des Moines Buccaneers. They fell down 3-0 early on in that one, 8:20 into period number 2, and that's when it was Nick Romeo starting the momentum for the Saints. They score 3 goals at even strength, but more importantly, they score 3 power play goals all in the third period, 2 of them off the stick of St. Louis, who occupies that back end left D position at the moment. Face-off will be on the far side to the right of Mustering goal. 16:44 to go in period number 1. Lamb and his crew out there after the icing and kind of getting the benefit of the referee and the linesman chatting over something there for a couple of moments as Barloghi back beneath the goal line gets it to the near side where the Capitals are able to clear. Hong chips it ahead. Delaney chases after it. Hong was the last member of that line yet to make a change, which gives way to Ronan O'Donnell, wearing number 26 tonight, as the Capitals with the specialty jerseys at the time didn't have a 25 when the Capitals ordered those jerseys. Up that far side wall and into the offensive zone, now comes Teddy Merrill towards the middle. Shot deflected out towards neutral, where Caleb Dick will send it right back in. Saints touch up, and they'll be right back on the forecheck. On the near side wall, Jamison there for Delaney. Towards the middle, looking that time for O'Donnell. Intercepted by the Saints. It's a Dubuque native, Andrew King, down to the far side corner. Nick Romeo relays it along to Merrill, who plays the body. Vaisinen there for it for a moment. Vaisinen down to the corner now for Merrill once again. Merrill squared up there by Henry, and the Capitals able to clear out towards neutral as Delaney leaves there for Rullers, who chips it down in deep. He'll apply some pressure. I was talking with the Capitals coaching staff. They think that Rullers has gotten faster throughout this season. Talked with him a bit earlier this week for an international spotlight with the league, and I think he mentioned that it's a smaller sheet, but it's also a faster game at the same time. Shot from the Saints goes wide. Vaisinen holds on the far side. There for it is Cornforth, the first-round Phase 1 pick of the Saints last season. Towards Scott up on the top of the near side circle. Leaves there for Vaisinen. Vaisinen down in the near side corner will leave for another Saint player as Cornforth gets it right back to him. Vaisinen, Cornforth again in the corner. Feeds it to the far side. A shot goes wide the whole way. It'll be LaPinta on the near side half wall. Former Minot Minotauro, one of the best names in junior hockey. Cornforth down into the corner now. LaPinta chipped it over the stick that time of a Capitals player to get Dubuque possession right back. Nagel in his first game back after sitting out for a pair of games last week. Gets it to Mackey, will send it down in deep. Caps will go for a wholesale change. Over 5 into period number 1. Still scoreless here in Middleton. Vaisinen, near side, fresh off the bench. Was waiting for it was Paulson. Instead, Cornforth will corral it and send it into the offensive zone for the Saints. A shot from Paulson on the near side. The league's leading scorer has his shot deflect out towards his point man. Sends it into the corner, and the Caps will be able to break out here. Michaud to the far side now. Kuzma ahead for Long. Long behind the defensive shot off the blocker that time of the goaltender Radler as the Capitals force a little bit of a turnover there, but Dubuque recovers very quickly. LaPinta on the near side. Cornforth out front looking for Paulson. Instead, it's Aiden Long just trying to escort that puck out towards neutral ice. Instead, it's Jubinville right back on it for the Saints. Jubinville sends it out of play. Whistle, 13:48 to go, period number 1. Still scoreless here at Capitol Ice Arena. Bryce Spencer, the linesman, having to get between the benches as the teams were changing. Both teams. Dubuque, 14-29, 6-0 are the Caps against Dubuque, 6-11, 5-0 here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. 17 points at each venue, both here and I'm on Ice, pardon. I'm on Ice Arena is the Cedar Rapids, the home of the Rough Riders. Up the near side half while the Capitals try to clear, but it's a nice pressure put on by Jake Sondrial, chipped into the corner as the Capitals will start the rush coming back the other way. Brandt looking for options, will achieve the red line, and will just chip it around the defenseman and head down into the near side corner. Therefore, it's St. Louis, drops it off to Dick. Dick back to St. Louis on the far side, who had just evaded a hit of Jack Brandt, and Brandt gets that one up high to keep it in front of him, but the Saints pick it right back up, and Caleb Dick will send it all the way down. A nice job with the hit that time by Brandt, but it'll be a little too much for the liking of the referee here this evening in Daniel Fagan, and he'll head to the penalty box as he pulls the player down. Yeah, I think that one's going to get called every time. Jack Brandt to the penalty box for a hold to call. I thought it was a clean hit. Didn't see all of it clearly as 13:04 remains here in period number 1. A Madison penalty sends Dubuque to their first power play of the night. Faceoff will be on the near side. This Dubuque power play, as I mentioned a bit earlier, scored 3 goals last night against Des Moines, all in period number 3. This top unit out there is Powell, Sondrial, Pekarsik, Vicinen, and St. Louis. St. Louis got 2 of them. Sondrial got the other. Sondrial clears it for Madison as 20 seconds into the Madison penalty kill. They have to start off from their own defensive zone, do the Saints. Sondrial, far side, gets it right back. A shot on. Musser holds for a whistle. 29 seconds into the man advantage for Dubuque. A soft little shot on, held on by Musser as a hold for a whistle. 12:35 to go, period number 1. Thanks for joining me here this evening. Wisconsin Night, presented by our friends at New Glarus Brewing Company. Wisconsin Ice Holes. Jerseys might look a little different. They are up for grabs on Dash Auction. Face-off 1, back that same first unit still out there for the Saints. Vising into the far side now for Sondrial. Near side for St. Louis. Towards the back door, and he scores. It's Noah Powell for the Saints, scoring 38 seconds into the man advantage. Jack Brandt will take the slow walk across the ice as Dubuque 1-for-1 on the power play here this evening. Backdoor Fenton. Powell almost too far out front, but got it by as St. Louis and Sondrial will get the assists on that one. Noah Powell, goal number 7 on the season. Sorry about that. On the power play, as Dubuque leads 1-0. You're wondering if that St. Louis is the same one that had a ton of points last year for Dubuque. Ryan St. Louis was the name of that one. It's his brother Lucas St. Louis, was on the roster last year, making a bit more of an impact this year here in his second season in the USHL. 2005 Connecticut native. Faceoff will come to center ice. Madison trails for the first time this evening. This season, when Dubuque scores first, they're 9-4-1-1 on the year. They score first often. They'd scored first in 5 straight games prior to last night, as Des Moines got the first goal there. Madison's been playing from behind in a lot of games here this season. Only 9 games where they've scored first. They've won 5 of them. 4 losses, all in regulation when they do score first. So maybe a better thing. Caps more often than not do get points when the other team strikes first. Jack Brandt will backhand that one down to the far side corner. Kuzma chases after it for the Capitals as this one sits there. Bernovic thought about pouncing on it. Instead, comes back on the stick of Fisher Scott. Capitals chip out towards neutral ice. Stuck on the stick that time of Aaron before it comes back to Kuzma, who will settle things down as the Caps regroup. 11:30 to go, period number 1. Interception at neutral ice by Josh Giuliani as Elias gives it right back to the Capitals. Rollers with a shot that goes right into the body of Fisher Scott. Up top now for Barloggi. Shot goes off the end wall and wide to Nagel on the near side. Up top, Henry. Shot that time through traffic, finds its way to the window. Barloghi pinches down on the far side, sees it the whole way as he tries to tie things up in that far side corner, but he'll eventually just retreat, and Dubuque will attempt the breakout. They do clear the zone, but they don't clear it with possession as Madison will regroup and come back quickly. Rollers up that far side wall. Fisher Scott doing a nice job to slow things down. Dubuque right out towards neutral once again, and the Capitals will go for a change as the Caps clear it down in deep. 10:45 to go. Period number 1 as the Saints pick up from behind their own goal. Cornforth up the near side wall. Sends it down in deep as Henry's the first one to it for either side. No icing on the play as there's a deflection just outside the Capitals' defensive zone. Barloghi plays it off the glass on the near side. It'll go all the way down for icing. 10:28 to go, period number 1. 1-0 still our score. We're waiting on a media timeout. We'll have to wait a little bit longer on that as the icing, of course, will delay that. The Capitals will be in their defensive end. The faceoff will be on the far side as a rule that was in place by USA Hockey just a couple of years back. They get to pick which side they choose for the icing whistles. The faceoff will be on the far side as the Capitals win that draw and start the rush moving forward. Henry plays it off the near side corner wall, and it just deflects out towards neutral. On the near side, the Capitals try to get possession, at least for a moment, as the Capitals play it off the glass. A hit there on Powell, the former Boston College Eagle and national team development player, plays it down low into the offensive zone. As it gets down in the near side corner, Capitals will try to clear out towards neutral ice as it comes back the other way. As the Capitals on possession, it's Brendan Lamb finally successful on the breakout arm. The Capitals is Delaney in the high slot, back to Lamb, just on different pages where the two. Lamb was looking for the rebound. Both of them suckered right behind the Dubuque net. Lamb's tied up against the wall, so is Delaney. An extra Saint joins and an extra skate comes away with it. That time Seamus Powell, that extra Saint, as LaPinta to the far side into the offensive zone on the stick of Paulson. Paulson, the Minnesota commit, the leading scorer in the USHL this season, plays it up the near side wall. Dick will play it down into the corner once again where LaPinta and Paulson battle for it. Paulson towards the high slot. Therefore, it's Cornforth. Far side now for Vicenen. Towards the middle, it's intercepted by the Caps as Toby will backhand it out towards neutral ice. Hard effort play there by St. Louis. I think he was part of the reason the turnover happened. He was trying to recover there for the Saints, and the Capitals will hold up the near side wall. St. Louis down in the near side corner, takes it to the far. Capitals put some pressure on him and force him to go to his defensive partner in Caleb Dick. Far side, Capitals will try to hold, they're unsuccessful. Puck comes out towards neutral ice, gets caught up in the stick that time of Sam Capel as we will get a whistle. 8:47 to go, period number 1. 1-0 our score. Will reach our first media timeout. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on the Capitals Broadcast Network. Of course, our friends over on the Capitals Broadcast Network on YouTube taking a bit of a break there. We'll actually leave them here. Why not? We'll let them listen as we get our Barks on Bourbon t-shirt toss. It's a great time to remind you that if you or your business want to support the Capitals, reach out to the front office. You can contact the front office by calling 608-257-CAPS. That's 608-257-2277. From flex packages to season tickets to group outings, Cap Ice is your place to do it, and we'd love to help you out as the sales staff there does a great job. A little bit biased. I'm part of that sales staff. Tell them you heard it from Drew, and maybe you'll get to talk with yours truly. Face-off will be at center ice. 8:47 to go, period number 1. Goal in this one scored on the power play by Noah Powell, his 7th of the season from St. Louis and Sondrial. Now coming on the power play, as I mentioned, 4th power play goal in just 2 periods for the Saints is DC Eagle, that goofy guy taking a little bit longer to get off the ice. Bryce Spencer and company waiting for the door to shut, and once that door shuts, we're back underway. Dick on the near side to the far now. Therefore, it is St. Louis up the middle. It gets deflected all the way down, so no icing as James Mackey will be the first one to it. Mackey up that far side wall will throw on the brakes and send it over to the near side now for Elias. Elias continues it along into the offensive zone. Now comes James Hong, just trying to beat the body that time of Lucas St. Louis. Instead, it's sent all the way down where Musser relays it up the near side wall to Jack Brandt. Brandt throws on the brakes to evade the first Dubuque forechecker. Des Moines, of course, played the Saints squad last night. That's where the mix-up comes. As St. Louis intercepts the pass that was attempted for Hong. Hong, of course, on a 6-game point streak, looking to make it 7 here tonight, averaging over a point per game since October 28th. He's been great in that category here this season. You date back all the way to the first game of the season, Hong scored the first goal for Madison this year. Capitals have a player behind the defense. Fisher Scott backtracks a bit as Bernovic with a shot, and he scores. Austin Bernovic finds the back of the net. Goal number 14 of the season for Bernovic at the 7:40 marker of period number 1. Gets the Caps all square at 1 aside. Bernovic, little sneaky there. Got behind the defense. Fisher Scott, a nice back check to get back after him. Not enough as the Capitals even things at 1 aside. Didn't quite see who was on the feed there. We'll try to listen as Rich Reynolds will read that goal here in a moment. Interception, Bernovic back at it again. Bernovic with a shot, trying to go through the 5-hole. Radler sticks it into the near side corner. Bernovic's been red hot as of late as well. Last week in November was the USHL forward of the week. Michaud with a shot that gets blocked right away. Dubuque able to clear. Didn't quite get who that assist was for. The next stoppage, I'll take a look. Dubuque answers back with a goal of their own. Just 29 seconds later, Frank with his first goal here this evening, 6th of the season. Dubuque traveling well here tonight. In the slot, no one on him. Gets it by the blocker side for goal number 6 of the year for the UConn commit. 2-1, Dubuque leads. That's one way to respond. They did the same thing last night against Des Moines on their 3rd goal. As we try to take a look back for the Capitals' assist. Didn't quite see it, but I mean, at this point, if you're the Caps, you can't really be too concerned with that. You're back in the passenger seat with Dubuque taking the lead. 7 minutes even to go, period number 1. Up that far side wall, Barloghi will chip it. We're waiting on the half wall was Porter, but they have to come back the other way as a forechecking fighting Saints player on the other side. On the near end, it's Barloghi sending it around to the far side now. Porter taken down from behind, no call will come. He kind of lost his footing on it as the Capitals regain possession once again. On possession there, up the near side. Shot from Jamison, who activated himself up into the play. A couple of pushes and shoves at the same time. Faceoff will come in the offensive zone with under 6.5 to go in the period. Trying to figure out who got that assist. On the goal, I believe it was Jack Henry with the assist on that Bernovic goal. We'll go with that for now. 6:28 remains in period number 1. Capitals with an offensive zone draw, trailing by 1. Dubuque with the quick response after the Bernovic tally. Long with a shot right away, blocked by a couple of shin pads along the way. Caleb Dick will get his legs moving as up that far side wall, Dubuque looks for a trip on a back-checking Caps forward. Shot from the point, blockered away there by Musser. On the far side, Madison gets things moving along for Aiden Long. No pun intended there as Long brings it in the offensive zone. Finds Rice behind the defense, but just chips it wide. Mackey unable to hold the zone. Capitals send it right back in as Dubuque able to pick up possession. They'll start back into the offensive zone now. Pekarsik drops back a shot, goes wide the whole way off the window, and the Capitals had a chance for a 2-on-1 as Dubuque was in the midst of a change there. Instead, Dubuque will hold in the zone at least for a moment, and now the Capitals finally cross into the offensive zone. Brandt on the near side, half wall takes it down to the near side corner. Far side now as he passes the net in his process there beneath the goal. Kuzma tries to just shove it up the near side pad that time of Radler. Instead, it goes to the far side where Dubuque chips it out of play once again. Faceoff will be in the offensive zone. No change allowed 5:24 remains in period number 1. 2-1 our score. As the Capitals trail 2-1, I should say the ice holes here this evening. These jerseys are up for auction. You can find these jerseys by heading to madcapshockey.com. You'll find the specialty jerseys right there for you. Face-off will be on the far side to the right, left of Radler in goal. Sorry about that. James Hong will pick up a secondary assist on that goal as well. Extends the point streak to 7 games in the process. This one's chipped down deep inside the offensive zone for Dubuque. On the far side, a shot. It looks like it was an intended pass from Seamus Powell. Instead, it comes the other way on the stick of the Capitals. As Kuzma flutters that one along. Into the offensive zone come the Capitals once again. Kuzma on the far side trying to power his way towards the goal. Powell not allowing that to happen, though. Nice job of using the body position there. Up the near side. It's turned over. The Capitals will be on their heels once again. LaPinta putting some pressure on Henry, but a nice job to just stay cool, calm, and collected by the defenseman. The Capitals will have some time and space to get things moving forward. Fresh off the bench is Rainer's Rollers. Avoids the initial stick check, but the Capitals are forced back towards neutral as the second line of defense works there for the Saints. Capitals into the offensive zone. Nagel in the high slot, returning tonight, looking for point number 20 on the season. Missed his first game since joining the Capitals at the beginning of last season. Played 82 straight games, was out due to injury last week, an upper body injury. Back in the lineup here tonight. The faceoff will be in the offensive zone. Looking to find the scoreboard there was Nagel, pardon. Frank scored that last goal for Dubuque. 6th of the season. Brnovik with the Capitals' lone tally in this one. Faceoff on the near side. 5-on-5, this game's 1-1, but that power play goal on the lone penalty. As Jamison with a shot that goes wide to the far side. Up that far side, sent down in the corner. On the near side, the Capitals on possession once again. Relay it down to Brnovik. Brnovik plays off the body and will just send it right to a Saints player, but luckily for the Saints, they chip it into the corner, and it's right back on the stick of Giuliani, who sends it down to the offensive zone. Giuliani usually would be playing in this game against one of his high school teammates. Went to the same high school as Finn Brink. That team loaded with USHL talent. 7 players on that team currently in the USHL. As Toby shoves a player up against the wall back beneath the goal line. Dubuque comes away with it. On possessions there, Merrill. Scott at the point looking for a goal. There it would have been goal number 2 of the season for Fisher Scott. Goal number 4. He's actually been lighting up the limp. Had the wrong number in front of me there. As the Capitals right back on it up the near side wall. Lamb will chip it, and it'll be the Capitals making a change. Dubuque will start up the far side wall instead, and right back into the offensive zone now come the Fighting Saints. Capitals have some time as the Saints eventually did go for a change. Only one forechecker went on. O'Donnell carries into the offensive zone. Capitals will hold up that far side wall. Shot was blocked along the way, though, as Elias was there for Madison. Under 3 to go, period number 1. 2-1 our score in favor of the visiting Saints. Caleb Dick up the near side wall to Powell. Powell, far side now, plays it off the wall. There for it is Barron. Barron has bounced around a couple of times. Played 7 games as an affiliate last season for this Dubuque squad. Played AAA last year and has made an impact and made his way to a couple of power play units. As Mackey will carry into the offensive zone for Madison. Activates himself up into the play. Down in the far side corner, he'll have to just skate by Lucas St. Louis. And St. Louis picks his head up, and Barron will start into the offensive zone for Dubuque. Barron in the near side corner, thought about throwing on the brakes, instead throws it off the side of the cage. Long and the Capitals are able to start back the other way. Kuzma, fresh off the bench, feeds it towards the middle, looking for Long that time, pops up into the air. Kuzma bodied off the puck, and it'll be the captain for Dubuque, Jake Sondriel, starting things back the other way. Powell, far side shot that time, deflected wide. Capitals have numbers back the other way. Kuzma has it poked off of his stick, had Long in front of him, and I'll have to backtrack instead. Henry ahead up that far side wall. Intercepted. Saints into the offensive zone. A nice job by Jack Henry to just throw on the brakes of that Dubuque rush. The Capitals will have one of their own here. Kuzma has Brandt on the near side. Brandt shot that time, goes wide. I don't know if Radler got a piece of it. 1:20 to go in the first. As a penalty upcoming on Madison, James Hong to the penalty box for a trip. It'll be their second power play of the night. You'll see it here. This gets his stick caught up in the feet of the Saints player, and Dubuque right back to the power play. 1:15 to go in the period. Capitals are able to kill off the first little bit of this power play attempt. They will carry it into period number 2, 45 seconds they will, as it's the second unit out there. Powell, Cornforth, Barron, LaPinta, and Paulson. Tough second unit when the league's leading scorers on that unit. Barron up the far side, gets it up top now for Powell. Near side now for LaPinta, backdoor shot that time, gets behind Musser, who holds somehow, some way. Had it between the 5 hole, and I think Barron realized it. It was a great chance for him to score. Instead, Musser able to hold on. We'll see that overhead look. It rings off the post, and Musser keeps it between the legs. So Barron didn't think he beat him 5-hole. He thought he beat him to that far side. 57.1 to go in the period, 1:46 to go in the Hong Minor. Face-off one back by Dubuque. Powell at the point, looking for options, sent to the far side for Barron. Barron just walks along the wall before getting it right back up to Powell. Near side for LaPinta. Top of the near side, sends it to the top of the far now for Barron. Backdoor feed, gets it to the near for LaPinta once again. As it caroms to the far side for Barron. Up top, Powell. Near side, LaPinta. LaPinta down the near side wall looking for a shot. Sends it off the cage that time of Musser as Cornforth tied up for a moment there. And a player drags a player down to the ice. A penalty will be upcoming on Dubuque. Chase LaPinta with a slash. They might take both here. Instead, it will just be LaPinta heading to the box. 1 for 2 on the minor penalty here. LaPinta asking what he did. 2 minutes for slashing. I think that was a clear slash. Just retaliation. Second guy always gets caught is what I've heard. Sure enough, that's the case there. As Madison, not now, but will eventually head to their first power play of the night, bearing another penalty. It'll be 1:11 of 4-on-4 play. 21.6 to go in the period, though, as a turnover sent to the net there by Rollers. A nice job to just get his stick in between two tangled up Saints players, and a face-off in the offensive zone for Madison once again. Bernovic, Rollers, Henry, and Michaud for the Caps. Face-off on the near side. Rollers to do battle with the captain, Sondriel. Warning given to Rollers in the circle. As the face-off eventually won back by Sondriel. Scott plays it to the far side now for Visenen, who has his stick lifted a couple of times by Rollers. Visenen throws on the brakes. Rollers does as well, and that allows the Saints back the other way. Rollers loses a wheel in the process. Visenen will hold in. His shot goes wide. 1 second to go in the period as Scott sends one towards the goal right at the buzzer. That wouldn't have counted either way. After 20 minutes of play here in period number 1, our score 2-1 in favor of the visiting Dubuque Fighting Saints. We'll have your intermission coverage coming up after this on Caps Radio on YouTube. For our friends on Flow Hockey, we'll see you in period number 2.
Toyotathon is on. Time to make the holidays picture perfect with a new Toyota. Like Camry, Tacoma, Grand Highlander, and more. Celebrate the season with a new Toyota. We're gonna need a bigger tree.
Right now, you can get 3.99% APR financing plus $1,000 cash back on a new Tacoma when you finance through Toyota Financial Services.
'Tis the season for Toyotathon.
Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. It's time for your first period summary as the Capitals trail 2-1 to the Dubuque Fighting Saints. At 13:04 remaining in the period, Jack Brandt went to the penalty box for holding, and it was just about 40 seconds later, Noah Powell scored his 7th of the season to make Dubuque's power play 1-for-1 on the night from St. Louis and Sondriel to make it a 1-0 game in favor of the Fighting Saints. About 4 minutes of gameplay later, Austin Bernovic would tie up goal number 14 of the season from Henry and Hong. That was goal number 1 for Madison of the night, 1-1. Our score after that one, but just 30 seconds later, Colin Frank picked up a Dubuque tally to get Dubuque right back in the driver's seat at 2-1. Things were quiet then throughout the rest of the period. 6 minutes after that Frank goal, Hong took a tripping minor penalty. Dubuque's power play 1-for-2 on the night. I can officially say it was 1-for-2 on the night because of the fact that about 40 seconds after that, it was Chase LaPinta going to the box for a slash, as the Capitals will have a brief power play, I think about 49 seconds worth of one after the intermission, as 49 seconds of 4-on-4 play followed by 49 seconds of a power play for this Caps squad. Capitals trail 2-1. We'll take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard now, presented by our friends at MadCapsHockey.com. MadCapsHockey.com, your one-stop shop for all things Capitals here this season. As we're just waiting on the league's website to just give us one final refresh, one that Dubuque fans will keep an eye on throughout the season more than likely is this Green Bay squad looking to extend a 12-game point streak on the road here this season as they lead 3-2 in Geneva over the Chicago Steele heading into period number 3 there at the end of 2. In Lincoln, 2-2 the score between Fargo and the Stars. 1-1 the score after 2 between the Buccaneers and Blackhawks in Waterloo. 3-2, Omaha leads Sioux City after 40 minutes of play. Muskegon in the driver's seat in Sioux Falls at the Denny Sanford Premier Center over the Stampede at the moment. 2-1 the score as the Saints on top of the Capitals here, of course. And then in Cedar Rapids looking for win number 2 of the season at home. It's been a tough batch. Of course, the Capitals will face off against that Rough Rider squad tomorrow. 3:05 puck drop at 3:05 again, as I mentioned. But tickets still available for that game. Tickets.madcapshockey.com. It's a great game. It's actually one of the more family-friendly atmospheres, and part of something that's really cool with it is you get to skate with the team after the game, get to get those autographs, take pictures with your favorite Caps players as well. That'll do it for our first intermission coverage. When we come back, we'll have your second period of play. Capitals trail 2-1 as we head to the middle 20 of tonight's game. Capitals hockey right back here on Flow Hockey and on the Capitals Broadcast Network. Thanks for joining me here this evening. Drew Steele, voice of the Caps, here on the coverage in Middleton. 4-on-4 for the first 49 seconds of the period. The second 49 seconds of the period will be a Capitals power play, so that should be fun, as the Capitals have not been on the man advantage yet this evening. 2-1 our score. Goals in the first from Powell on the power play for Dubuque. Brnovic even things at one aside for Madison, but Colin Frank answered 30 seconds later to get us to a 2-1 Dubuque Fighting Saints lead. 4-on-4, as I mentioned, to start here, period number 2. Rullers, Brnovic, Elias, and Michaud for the Capitals. Paulson, Barron, as well as Jubenville and Powell for this Fighting Saints squad. Faceoff comes at center ice. James Hong to step out of the penalty box in 49 seconds of gameplay. Faceoff won back by the Capitals as Michaud will backtrack all the way to his own faceoff dot. Of course, with an extra couple of square feet of room on the ice, you're going to take advantage of it throughout the period. Rullers in the near side corner, takes over for Madison. Sends it up the near side wall to Elias. Elias straddles the blue line, drops there for Brnovic. Brnovic with a shot there, sits on the D on the chest that time of Radler, and it comes back where Dubuque can start up ice on the stick of Seamus Powell. 17 to go, 4-on-4 before an abbreviated Capitals power play. Jubenville to the far side now for Barron, as there's a door open inside the offensive zone. Don't know what caused that. Maybe was it a hit down in the corner? Unaware. 11 seconds to go, a 4-on-4 time. I think the Capitals will start that time, as here's the shot from Brnovic. You're seeing it on your Flow Hockey screens. Flow Hockey's a great subscription, and you should definitely buy it. Of course, you get to watch all your Caps games with all USHL games, as well as some pro leagues and some NCAA coverage as well. Capitals in 8 seconds will be on their first man advantage of the night, as Jack Henry will slow things down back inside the defensive zone. Barloggi goes for a change as Madison back on full strength and on their first power play, as I mentioned, turned over, and Dubuque might have a chance here. Is that one up for grabs? Sondriel gloves it down to himself into the near side now for Fisher Scott, who will send it all the way down inside the defensive zone. Coming into the weekend, this Dubuque squad on the penalty kill, coming in at a number of 80.9%. That number did tick down a bit last night for the Saints, giving up one to Des Moines. Through neutral ice and into the offensive zone come the Caps. Hong's pass broken up there as Jack Brandt will spin things starting back the other way for Madison. Behind the defense is Hong. He'll ring it around off the end wall. It goes to the near side now as Madison unable to hold. It comes out towards neutral, where Dubuque will be able to kill off the rest of that penalty. Capitals 0 for 1 on the man advantage here this evening, as we're at 5-on-5 for the first time here in the second period of play. Through neutral ice comes James Hong once again, kind of tripped up onto his feet as Kuzma thought he came away with it. Instead, it's Long, fresh off the bench. Long with a shot from a sharp angle. Radler holds for a whistle. 18:01 to go, period number 2. 2-1 our score in favor of the visiting Fighting Saints. A power play goal. The difference in this one, 5-on-5, we're even at 1-1. Those goals actually just come in 29 seconds apart. So you take away those 29 seconds of gameplay, we're 0-0 at 5-on-5. And, of course, that's what's going to happen when you're facing one of the best power plays in the league and one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. You don't want to go on the man advantage, or you don't want the other team to go on the man advantage, I should say. Of course, you'll accept any man advantage you get, and you've had 50 seconds of one here tonight for Madison. But right now, it's one of the two main advantages Dubuque's had, the difference. Caps will chip it up that far side wall. Long waits for it on the half wall. St. Louis gloves it down. A nice job by Sam Rice to keep that one moving forward. Caleb Dick will just play it to the near side. A nice job to find Chase LaPinta. LaPinta backhands it down to the corner. Paulson out front trying to feed it that time to Cornforth. Instead, it's taken over by St. Louis on the far side. Paulson, near side, comes to Dick on the half wall. Dick has it poked away. The Capitals try to poke it out towards neutral. Cornforth maintains possession in the offensive zone. Dick whiffs on it, and it comes out towards neutral, where once again the Saints will regroup. Capitals need a couple of changes here. Long will go for one. Is a nice job by a fresh set of legs in Delaney to get things moving up ice. Capitals will deflect down so the rest of the team can make a change. intercepted. Capitals out front, had a chance there was Porter, and now Lamb forces possession for the Caps. Porter off the end wall, up that far side to Mackey, sends one towards the goal, deflected wide. Barloggy plays down into the corner once again. Delaney tried to feed it to Lamb, who was in the middle of the circle. Instead, it comes all the way back where Carson Musser is the next to play possession. Feeds it over to Mackey, his defenseman on the far side. Porter in the middle of the ice, continues along for Delaney. Delaney tried to feed it to Lamb, threading the needle. Instead, it comes right back to him off of a shin pad. Porter back beneath the goal line. Lamb out front, and he scores! Nate Porter, first USHL goal. First USHL point, I should say, for Porter. As the Capitals tie things up at 2-a-side. Brendan Lamb with the goal. Porter feeds it to him. I believe Delaney got it down to him. A line goal for the Capitals evens us at 2-a-side. Lamb on the goal, picks up goal number 21 in his USHL career. Of course, a third-year player here is Brendan Lamb, 2004 born. Uncommitted at the moment, so there's a chance he's back here again next season. Of course, the Capitals always wanting to develop and move your players up, but it's never a bad thing to have a Brendan Lamb in your lineup by any means, and he proves that right there. Fourth goal of the season for Lamb is Powell's shot goes wide. Dubuque trying to respond just as quick as they did the first time. Instead, it's Rainers, Rollers, and company coming forward for Madison. Nagel on the far side, backhands it towards the slot. Radler plays it with the pad over to the near side wall. Aaron will continue out towards neutral, and Barron will bring it into the offensive zone. Musser comes out of his crease, will hold for a whistle. As the whistle blows, 4:10 into period number 2. Goal on that one, Brendan Lamb, number 5 for the season, point number 5 of the year for the forward out of Battle Creek, Michigan. With a face-off upcoming to the near side and the right of Carson Musser in goal. Face-off won back by the Saints. Powell on the near side half wall continues it along for King. King, a Dubuque native. Another one in the league, was Capitals property for a little bit, tearing it up in Green Bay. Down on the far side, a shot out front. Hits a couple of pads there and sits in the slot. I don't know if one ever got to Carson Musser as Kuzma carries into the offensive zone. Chip down to Hong. Hong looking for options. Thought about lacrosse-style goal in that one. Instead, it goes into the corner where Jubenville will continue off the wall. There for it, and continuing it out towards neutral ice is the stick that time of Teddy Merrill. He trips over the blue line as the puck skedaddles into the far side corner. Henry tied up against the wall but skates away with possession. Up the near side wall now to Hong, who throws on the brakes. I thought he was going to give it to Kuzma. Instead, he sends it to the far side. No icing on the play as Dubuque went to go play the puck. That was Jaden Jubenville. The Capitals put some pressure on, and now it's Kuzma in the corner trying to feed it out front for Capel. Instead, it comes to the near side where Toby continues possession for Madison. Kuzma in the corner looking for options, tries to feed it to Toby. And Toby eventually does get possession, and he'll ring it around to the far side to Capel. A nice job by Powell to play it off the wall. Capel had no chance at it, and the Capitals will have to go all the way back. No icing on the play, and the Capitals will go for a full change, or rather the Saints will, and the Madison Capitals in the offensive zone now. Rice tried to feed it back to Aiden Long. Capel puts some pressure on him, but instead Paulson will slow things down and get things over to Fisher Scott. 14:20 to go in the period as Dubuque tries to enter the offensive zone. They're onside, but they don't have possession as the Capitals right back down the other way, all the way down. Icing on the Capitals. No change going to be allowed for the Caps here on this one. Toby being told, hey, you got to go right back out there. Face-off will be on the near side to the right of Musser in goal. 14:10 to go, period number 2. All square at 2-a-side. Brendan Lamb with the goal for Madison to even things at that 2. Face-off is won back. Bison into the far side now. Plays it off the end wall. Does Fisher Scott ahead? It'll be icing if it gets there. Sure enough, it will. Let's do it again. 8 seconds after the last one. Caps ice it. Face-off to follow in the defensive zone. Heard that one before. Face-off will be on the near side to the right of the goaltender, Carson Musser. Sherburne, Minnesota native. Face-off one back by Dubuque. Bison tried to send one towards the goal, kind of whiffed on it. Capitals get things moving forward the other way. They'll be able to go get a couple of changes. Capel will put some pressure on. Otherwise, the rest of the four Caps went for a change. Bison turned over. Capel with a little stick lift and just backhanded it towards the goal. Reidler does a nice job as Reidler holds in front of him, and the Capitals able to get a fresh bodies out there. Fisher Scott plays it off the end wall. Brendan Lamb's there for it. Plays it off the glass. He'll go try to catch it as it comes off the buckle, and it comes out to Delaney. Delaney looking for options. Now Elias in the high slot. A shot goes off the high shoulder, sits there out front. Dubuque clears out towards neutral. 13.5 to go, period number 2. Mackey drops back for Elias, the captain for the Caps. Gets a deflection as the Caps dump it down once again. Brendan Lamb forechecking there. Trying to get possession are the Capitals. Mackey will hold. Lamb behind the defense, just couldn't hold on. Lamb, far side, Delaney gets it for Madison, kind of on a different page than alternate captain to alternate captain. Instead, it's the Saints back the other way. Bodied off the puck as they'll go for a wholesale change. Just under 13 to go, period number 2. O'Donnell backhands that one forward. Back inside his own defensive end is Caleb Dick as the Capitals get a new set of forwards out there. Dick through neutral ice and into the offensive zone. Chips it around the Caps defense as Michaud the first one to it. But putting some heavy forecheck pressure on are the Saints, including that defenseman in Dick, but he does retreat to his spot now. Mackey up the near side wall, Bernovic. Bernovic looking for options, sends it towards neutral. Tried to find Nagel behind the defense, and he eventually will. Nagel with a shot, and he scores! Max Nagel strikes to bring the Caps ahead. 3-2, 12:16 to go, period number 2. Rollers tried to find him the first time, and if you don't succeed, try and try again. That's exactly what Max Nagel does. The Capitals take their first lead of the night on goal number 11 of the season for Max Nagel. 12:16 remains. Period number 2. Capitals lead 3-2. We'll head back to center ice here in a moment. Just beat him on that glove side. Reidler didn't know what to do. Faceoff is won. Actually, it's tied up between the 2 feet, and the Capitals do come away with it, at least for a moment. They're skating after it, and nice job of forecheck pressure here. You move your feet, and this is what happens, Madison. Kuzma on the near side, kind of got high stick there, but no call will come. Jack Brandt will hold the zone. Over to the far side. It'll be played off the wall by St. Louis. Powell will try to get around Charlie Michaud as Henry will play to the near side for Michaud. Kuzma ahead, and now Henry picks up after Hong kind of directed things for him. Offside are the Capitals. Henry kind of lost his balance. Immediate timeout here in period number 2. 3-2 our score. Capitals in the lead. We'll go through a quick scoring summary before we get to our out-of-town scoreboard. For the Capitals in period number 2, it's been Lamb and Nagel. It's Powell, Bernovic, and Frank with the goals in period number 1. It went Dubuque, Madison, Dubuque. And in period number 2, it's just been Madison the whole way. Faceoff will come to center ice here in a couple of moments. And instead, we get the vibes going here at Cap Ice Wisconsin night, presented by New Clarence Brewing Company. Playing some Wisconsin-themed music.
Does not know, unfortunately, that he's going to be banning the drum. All right, thank you guys for playing today. Enjoy the game.
Faceoff will come just outside the Capitals' offensive zone. 11:41 to go, period number 2. Thanks for joining us here on the Capitals Broadcast Network on YouTube and Flow Hockey. Capitals will have their 4th unit out there, with Jamison and Barlagi joining me on the back end. Rice, Capel, and Long for this Madison squad. Face-off, one back by the Saints. Jubenville, far side now, as it's chipped up into the sky, but Barron gloves it down to himself, feeds it ahead back to Jubenville and into the offensive zone. Comes Dubuque, far side. Unable to hold in was Aaron, but luckily his partner was right behind him in St. Louis, and the Capitals eventually do take over. Jamison jumps up into the play offensively with a whole bunch of speed. Jamison behind the defense. Backhands one towards the goal. It goes wide. As Dubuque right back the other way. Powell turns it over, and Radler for the Saints has to regroup behind his own goal. Visinen. Pass was deflected, no icing as it comes all the way down end to end. Nathan Tobey will pick up and start up ice. He'll try to activate himself up that far side wall. It's turned over, though, on his attempted pass, trying to find Brendan Lamb. Lamb scored our first goal here in period number 2. Of course, that tied things up at 2, and a goal from Max Nagel brings the Caps their first lead of the night. Tobey plays it off the end wall. Mackey off the near side, gets it up top where Fisher Scott intercepts for Dubuque. Far side, sent down into the corner. King looking that time for Merrill, fresh off the bench. It comes to the near side now where Lamb plays it off the end wall again. A player tripped up for Dubuque with no call coming. Kirk McDonald, the head coach for this Fighting Saints squad, not liking the no call. Fisher Scott chips it down in deep. Dubuque right back to the forecheck. Mackey has it lost between his feet, and it comes out front for a moment. Mackey throws on the brakes. He'll play it with that long stick of his, as Lamb will be able to clear the zone off the window. O'Donnell puts some pressure on. He won't go for a change. This Madison squad's been out there for a little bit now. They're stuck in their defensive end once again. Far side. Off the sidewall it comes. Visinen gets it to the middle where a shot from his centerman that time goes up into the rafters. Josh Giuliani, the guilty party. As the faceoff will come on the far side to the left of Musser in goal. Face off to the left of Musser, 9:47 to go, period number 2. 3-2 our score, Capitals lead, thanks to a goal from Max Nagel earlier this period. As it's won back by Madison, the defensive zone draw eventually taken over by Dubuque, though. It says nice job just contesting these battles tonight in the corner. Nagel out towards neutral ice as the Capitals finally able to take over on possession. Near side, Seamus Powell up ice for Paulson, the league's leading scorer, into the offensive zone. He pokes it around the Capitals forward there, but Dubuque is able to hold the zone after a brief turnover. Shot out front, deflected over the goal. That was Colin Frank trying to tally his second of the night. Instead, it's Madison out towards neutral ice. Seamus Powell will help the Saints hold their end of the ice there, and half of the ice especially more important here in period number 2. Elias up the near side wall, sends it to Michaud behind him as he feeds it to the middle for Rollers after a big hit there from Cornforth on the far side. Michaud gets it back, takes it forward. Nagel backhands it down in deep with under 9 to go in the period as Dubuque picks up. It's on the stick of Seamus Powell. The former Boston College Eagle picks up his eyes and sees that lane in front of him, brings it around the window there, and it's picked up by Henry and the Capitals on the far side. Battled back for by Dubuque. Shot from Barron finds its way into a shin pad, and the Capitals back the other way. Brandt around one Saints player, but he's kind of taken down to his feet, at least for a brief moment. Instead, he pops right back up as the Capitals able to hold on the far side. Henry sent up against the wall, continued along to Kuzma, who has it in his feet. Now Hong. Hong down to the corner for Brandt. Brandt looking for options up top to Barloggy. 2 goals on the season, looking for his third. Instead, sends it into the corner where it's picked up there by Brandt. In the far side corner, Hong leaves there for a moment for Brandt. Instead, it's the Saints able to clear. St. Louis out in front of his defensive crew is now Powell with a shot that deflects wide off the stick of Barloggy. A nice block shot there. Aaron will hold the line at least for a moment, goes off the end wall. St. Louis on the far side will play down. St. Louis into the corner now for Powell. Couple of forwards come out for Dubuque, and it's St. Louis back behind. 2 forwards go back for Dubuque, and they actually win that battle, but St. Louis kind of getting sucked down into the play there. Is down in the corner. The Saints have possession. Offensive zone. Dubuque works. Cycling up against the wall before Madison able to take over. It's Sam Capel, the former number 1 overall pick. Jamison up into the play offensively. Drops back for Capel. Poked around a bit. Toby activates down into the play. Shot from a sharp angle, sits there. Capel whacks at it, goes into the body of Radler, but into the corner. And Dubuque able to take over with under 7 to go in the period. Pekarsik, far side into the offensive zone. Onside are the Saints. Shot held on to by Musser for a whistle. 6:43 to go. Period number 2. 3-2 our score as the faceoff will come inside the defensive zone to the left of Musser in goal. You see it on your Flow Hockey screens, or if you're not seeing it, it's the Ice Holes jerseys that the Capitals are wearing tonight. They are up for grabs on Dash Auctions as the Capitals wearing these as part of Wisconsin night, thanks to our friends at New Glarus Brewing Company. Can't miss the spotted cow when you're here in Wisconsin. Moonman also a favorite. More of a spotted guy myself as the puck jumps over the stick of a Saints player down into the offensive zone. Capitals looked like they were on a rush. Instead, it's one back the other way by the Saints. Near side, Romeo started the comeback last night for the Saints after they trailed 3-0 to this Des Moines squad. The Capitals are 1-1 against this season. Up the near side, O'Donnell brought back into the zone by Delaney. Paulson's pass intercepted. Capitals will send it all the way down. Icing if it gets there. Sure enough, it will. 6:11 to go, period number 2. 3-2 our score. Face off back inside the defensive zone for Madison to follow. Goals in this second period from Lamb and Nagel have flipped the script on this Saints squad. Nagel in his first game back from injury. Hadn't missed a game prior, had an Ironman streak going of 82 games, which was a Caps long. Delaney chips it all the way down. It might catch up on an edge. Sure enough, it will. No icing on Madison, so a couple of changes allowed there for the Capitals. With Dubuque through neutral ice and into the offensive zone once again. Under 6 to play in the second period. On possessions, Romeo. Michaud there for the Caps. Settles things down. Thought about going the far side. Comes back to the near. And eventually does choose to go to the far as Nagel, fresh off the bench, shoved into the wall there by Powell. Powell comes away with it. Throws on the brakes. Goes through neutral. This one gets high up in the sky. No icing in the first one, too. It's LaPinta who plays a little reverse hit on Michaud. Michaud wants a piece of LaPinta, but LaPinta wants nothing to do with him. Relders, far side, Bernovic. Bernovic to Elias, who was trailing the play, and it's Dubuque back the other way once again on the stick of Cornforth. Relders shoves him up against the wall, though, and the Capitals back in defensively. King out front, had a chance, but just couldn't get the angle he wanted on it. Madison trying to find Bernovic behind the defense instead. It's Dubuque off the end wall, taking an odd bounce there. The Capitals benefit from that. Could have been dangerous as it came right out to the slot, but Michaud was right there for Madison. Bernovic plays the body. Dubuque plays the puck. They'll break that one up the far side, and the Capitals take back over with a forced turnover from James Hong. Barlagi forward into the offensive zone. It's Kuzma. Kuzma played a body there of Merrill, who was coming after him, but didn't play the puck. And it forces the Capitals to regroup at neutral, but a turnover allows Dubuque the other way. Merrill shot into the shin pads. On possession there for a moment is Jack Henry, who steps out to the left of the goaltender and starts up ice. Hong off the near side wall. Fresh on side of the Capitals. Henry shot goes wide. He follows up on it. Rebound sits there. Capitals still with a chance. And they score? I thought for sure they were scoring. Kuzma instead will go after Teddy Merrill in the corner. The two go at it. No punches being thrown on either side. As Kuzma trying to just take the helmet off. Kuzma does end up on top. Didn't see that one coming. And with 4 minutes to go here in period number 2, each side will have a player gone for the next 15 minutes of gameplay. Just a little pushing and shoving battle, and Merrill just throws the gloves down and starts going. Got a couple of good ones in right away, but eventually body positioning is won by Kuzma. Face-off to come inside the offensive zone for Madison, but I think they're thinking about reviewing that last goal, or a potential goal, as they take their way back and forth. 4 minutes even to go here in period number 2. We're not taking another media timeout here in the period, but it kind of feels like one, as the referee tonight, of course, the referee being Daniel Fagan, chatting it up with Jacob Rosenberg on the far side, wondering if there was enough to take it to replay. It was close out front, as 3-2 the score. Capitals in the lead. They will not take it to replay. They're wondering if there should be an instigator penalty maybe. They're discussing it here out front for a moment, as the captains will hear, wondering if there's an instigator penalty upcoming. We'll take a look at the no goal here on my setup here in the building. The Capitals looked like they had a grade A chance with Hong out front. Puck pops around a bit. Kuzma actually kind of got a piece of the helmet of Radler. So that's where maybe goaltender interference would have been called anyway. The Capitals were unable to slam it home nonetheless. Five on five to come. Puck clearly never went in the net. Coach Andy Brandt doesn't like that there's no instigator call there from Dubuque. Faceoff will be on the near side to the left of Radler. Kuzma bumped the helmet that time of Radler. That's what caused everything. I didn't quite see that at first, but great job by our Rush Media crew in the back room to get us that look. Faceoff will be on the near side. Rice, Capel, Long, Toby, and Jamison for the Capitals. Faceoff one back. Long with a quick shot that goes off the glass. 5 minutes for fighting. The call there on both players is up the far side wall. Dubuque through neutral ice now and into the offensive zone. Sondriel with some speed, the captain for the Saints squad. The shot that's just recovered by Musser for a whistle. 3:39 to go, period number 2. 3-2 our score in favor of the Capitals. The Wisconsin Ice Holes here this evening, wearing the blue and red flannel. Still bringing in those Caps colors. Little light blue in the logo. Similar to that Islanders Fisherman logo. It's a face-off one back. There's an offensive zone draw for Dubuque. St. Louis sends one towards goal, but it never got there, and the Capitals do recover out the other way. Lamb puts some pressure on the Saints squad, and eventually it'll come to the stick of Caleb Dick. Dick just backhands that one to St. Louis, who gets it right back to his defensive partner. Delaney just battles back for it. He's on the far side now. O'Donnell up top to Jamison. Near side, Toby. Toby looking for a lane. Finds one he likes. Rebound sits there. The Capitals unable to slam it home. It pops back out to Toby. Far side now. Near side to Delaney. Far side for Lamb. Lamb looking for options up top to Jamison. Jamison sends one off the end wall. Takes an odd bounce. O'Donnell out front. And it's the captain, Sondriel, just fluttering things out towards neutral ice. A nice recovery there by the Saints. And the Capitals will have a couple of quick changes as well. Madison looking to put the pressure right back on as Rullers sends that one down in deep. 2:45 to go in the second period. And St. Louis starts up the near side wall. Out towards neutral. Elias gets things moving forward. Nagel unable to hold on to it. Mackey keeps things moving forward now, though, and Bernovic into the offensive zone. Has Nagel with him a bit too far behind him, in between the feet that time of a Saints player, and the Capitals regroup at neutral. Bernovic into the offensive zone. Caps would have been offside had they got into the offensive zone. Nagel had a whole bunch of speed and was hoping for the puck. As Paulson's shot goes off the far side pad, and now the Capitals back the other way. Brnovic through neutral ice. Into the offensive zone he comes. Top of the near side circle, throws on the brakes by the half wall, and it's Dubuque back the other way once again. Paulson into the near side corner. Slammed up against the wall there by Michaud. Puck pops out to Hong as the Capitals right back the other way. Brnovic deflects that one down in deep. Under 2 to go here in the period. Dubuque's legs starting to look tired. As, of course, this going to be a big factor here tonight. Dubuque played last night. Madison did not. Seamus Powell plays it off the window on the end as Michaud picks up for Madison. Henry on the near side gets things moving forward to Hong. Hong looking for Brandt. Instead, it goes all the way down. No icing on the play as Powell picks up before the goal line. Intercepted. A nice job by Madison, at least for a moment. Instead, Nick Romeo gets things moving back the other way for the Saints. Romeo in the near side corner puts it out front. Jubenville with a shot. It goes wide. A nice job by Musser. He got a piece of that one as Jubenville takes a spill at neutral. He'll go to the bench. Under a minute to go in the period. Porter, far side. Capitals will race after it. Hong's going to be the first one there for Madison. Just unable to pick up possession, though, and the Capitals will go make a couple of changes. With under 50 to go in the period, Dubuque carries into the offensive zone. Barloggi on the near side half wall battles with Powell. One Capital in the pile, 2 Saints. Caps come away with it, though. A nice job by the team. Sondriel holds the zone. Powell on the near side already with 1 tonight as the puck poked off of his stick. Puck will come all the way down, no icing, so it'll be Radler going to play it. He'll play it off the far side to Vizinen. 20 to go in the period. Dubuque comes forward now. Intercepted. Barloggi ahead. Deflected along the way. Rice behind the defense. Out front chance. Far side now. Jamison will play down into the play. Off the end wall. It rings around to the near side for Long with 6 to go in the period. Trying to feed it to Barloggi. Dubuque will just tie him up there. And that's where period number 2 will end. A pair of goals for Madison in the middle 20 here this evening. Have them ahead 3-2. We'll head to break. When we come back, we'll have your intermission report on your Caps broadcast network on YouTube and on Flow Hockey. We'll have period number 3 for you. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on the Capitals broadcast network. Hey, Cavs fans, welcome back to the broadcast booth here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. Intermission number 2, Capitals in the lead, 3-2. Following 40 minutes of play here this evening, we'll go through a quick scoring summary and a quick penalty summary as well before getting to the out-of-town scoreboard presented by our friends at MadCapsHockey.com. Scoring in this one thus far, it was Noah Powell at the 7:35 mark on the power play from St. Louis and Pekarsik to give Dubuque an early 1-0 lead. 5 minutes later, Austin Bernovic with his 14th of the season from Henry and Hong even things at 1 aside, but then Colin Frank, 20 seconds later, able to bring Dubuque back in front 2-1. That's the lead they held at intermission number 1. But in the second period, it was Brendan Lamb with his 4th of the season from Porter, his first USHL point, and Chris Delaney at 3:35 of the second period to tie things up at 2. 4 minutes later was Max Nagel, his 11th of the season from Rullers and Bernovic. Nagel, returning from injury, 20th point of the season, had 25 in 62 games last season, with 20 now through 21 games here in this short season thus far. Of course, there's still tons of hockey left this season and tons of hockey left here in this game as well. Penalties in this one, Hong and Brandt in the first period for Madison with minor penalties, LaPinta with one for Dubuque. All of those got killed off, or besides the one that Dubuque scored on the power play, obviously, with Noah Powell striking for his 7th of the season. But in the second period, it was just the one fight. Teddy Merrill and Andrew Kuzma going at it. Each of those guys will be out for 15 minutes from the 4-minute mark left there in period number 2. So you look on the clock, about half of the second period will be, or half of the third period, will be without Andrew Kuzma for the Capitals here in this one. As right now, shots on goal favoring the Capitals by a score of 18-15. Also, the scoreboard favoring the Capitals by a score of 3-2. Taking a look at our out-of-town scoreboard presented by MadCapsHockey.com. MadCapsHockey.com, your one-stop shop for all things Capitals this season. 6-2, Green Bay picks up a win over Chicago. They currently sit in sole possession of first place as they jump Dubuque at the moment for 32 points. Dubuque, of course, coming in, or it would be actually 34 points for the Gamblers. That one yet to be officially final, but they won 6-2. And when the buzzer rang, I'm going to take a wild guess, 4 goals weren't scored in the last minute by Chicago there in that one. Final in Lincoln, they take down the Fargo Force by a score of 5-3. That's Fargo's only second loss in regulation this season. We're 19-2-1 coming into today, so third regulation loss this year as Lincoln takes down the Force there in that one. In Waterloo tonight, it looks like the Blackhawks able to defeat the Des Moines Buccaneers by a score of 3-2 in regulation. Tied late in the third period, Omaha and Sioux City at the moment, 4-4 there in that one. Muskegon picks up 2 points and breaks that tie with the Capitals for the moment, 6-2. The Lumberjacks lead over Sioux Falls in that one. And late in the second period in Cedar Rapids, the Rough Riders with a 3-2 lead there in that one. So tons of standing movement could happen tonight. Not necessarily going to happen, depending on results from without the league, as Dubuque had been in either sole possession or tied for first place for what seems to be the entire season thus far. Right now, they actually sit in second place, at least for a period of hockey. We'll see what they're able to do. We'll see what the Capitals are able to do to finish this one, as the Capitals lead 3-2 as we head to break. When we come back, we'll have the third period for you. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on the Capitals Radio Network. Capitals Hockey live here on Flow Hockey and on the Capitals Radio Network on YouTube. Caps lead 3-2. Should say Ice Holes lead as the Wisconsin Ice Holes. The rebrand for the evening presented by New Glarus Brewing Company. It's Wisconsin night here at the arena. Half off on beers that are Wisconsin, half off on brats. We have cheese curds on the menu. We have old fashions on the menu. Quite the night here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. Teams will go back to the traditional short change here in period number 3. As the Capitals move right to left across your Flow Hockey screen and Capture Radio Network dial. Goals in the second from Lamb and Nagel. Brought the Caps from down 1 to up 1 after 2 periods of play. Period number 3 underway here in Middleton. As Michaud starts to rush up the near side, tried to send it down in deep, got caught up in the body that time of Colin Frank. We'll have to start things just outside the Capitals' offensive zone here in a moment. Goals in this one. Power play goal for Noah Powell to start things off in the first for Dubuque. Austin Bernovic answered, but then Colin Frank 30 seconds later did the same thing for Dubuque to give Dubuque a 2-1 lead. Then in the second it was Lamb and Nagel, like I just mentioned a couple of moments ago, as the Capitals put some high pressure in the offensive zone on the forecheck. As Kirk McDonald realizing, hey, we got to start playing better in their defensive end just by the looks of it. Is up the near side wall. Dubuque sends it down in deep. The Capitals will send things back the other way off the far side, while Ronan McDonald will play it there for a second there, playing it ahead for Fisher Scott. Sorry about that. As Sondriel comes into the offensive zone. Sondriel trying to get a shot off, unable to, as Barloghi does a nice job to play it, but he plays it up the near side wall to Caleb Dick, who holds in for the Saints. Dick shoots that one over the goal. Caroms out off the window, all the way down inside the Capitals' offensive end, where Lucas St. Louis will have to pick up from behind his own goal. Rollers put some pressure on St. Louis. Dick now on the near side, plays it to the far side wall to Paulson, the league's leading scorer, into the offensive zone. Paulson with a sharp angle shot. Don't really know if that one ever had a chance. I think it went off the side of the goal as Rollers plays ahead now. Rollers looking for options. They'll just send that one down in deep. Capitals go on the forecheck. Dick up the far side wall, taken away by Nagel. Nagel looking for a lane to pass it near side to Toby. Toby looking for his first USHL goal. Rebound sits there. Toby with another chance. Shot goes wide. Rebound slammed home by Max Nagel. Capitals extend the lead to 2. Goal number 12 of the season for Max Nagel. It's just an effort goal by the Capitals. I think I said it on the first goal for Nagel. If you don't succeed at first, try and try again. I've heard that quote a time or two. It's exactly what the Caps had to do. It was rebound after rebound, and the Capitals fans love it here in Middleton. Toby with the assist number 4 of the season for the defenseman from Texas, and the Capitals lead 4-2. Face-off won back by Dubuque as they're going to look for something here. It goes into the leg of the linesman. Capitals try to start things right back up ice. Instead, it's turned over. Barron backtracks to Aaron. Aaron now turns over to the Capitals. We'll start back the other way. I don't know if anyone else got an assist on it besides Toby. I believe Toby should have been the only assist there as it's iced by the Fighting Saints just north of 2 minutes into period number 3. Capitals lead 4-2. Here's that goal from above. Nagel on the near side. Nice job. He corralled the rebound with his foot, kicked it up to his stick there. The sewer working out for him as Nagel picks up right where he left off. Back to over a point per game rate. Right at a point per game rate. 21 points in 21 games for the forward from West St. Paul. Faceoff is won by Dubuque. They send it right up ice right away as Musser plays it up the near side where Jubenville will have to regroup. Powell into the offensive zone come the Saints. Mackey plays it with the backhand to the corner as Hong now will play to the near side where Elias is there for Madison. Elias tied up against the wall, a backtrack to the near side for Brandt. Brandt ahead, looking that time for Porter. Instead, it's on the stick of Barron coming the other way. A natural fit will be Porter, the extra forward moving up in the line chart to play with Hong and Brandt here, and it may be a bit of an audition here for Porter, playing with these two, as, of course, with a couple of players leaving, chance to move up the lineup for anybody here, and you don't want to mix up the lines elsewhere, so Porter, the natural fit, wearing number 29 tonight, typically number 15 for this Capitals squad. Capitals will go for a wholesale change, as just north of 3 minutes into period number 3, they lead by 2. Seamus Powell through neutral ice on the near side, has it on the backhand with a shot that goes straight off the shin pad of Charlie Michaud. Romeo turns it over. Madison will come back the other way, but Henry sends it right off the skate. A shot from a sharp angle goes high in the sky here at Cap Ice. The Capitals will try to clear. A shot from Väisänen deflects wide. Far side, held in there. Giuliani into the corner. King played his Plotty up against the wall. Capitals take back over, but it's Dubuque able to hold things in, at least for a moment. Delaney's second effort able to be there for Madison. No call will come as it's Porter sent to the surface, rather that's Ronan O'Donnell. Väisänen on the near side, half wall, spins back up top. Looking for options, will play it off the wall, but Delaney sends it right back where it came from, out towards neutral ice. 4 minutes into period number 3. Barloggi turns it over. Sondriel tries to drop back. Madison now ahead of the defense is Brnovic. Brnovic with one already tonight. Backhand. Goal number 2 of the night. 15th of the season. Capitals score to extend the lead to 5-2. What a goal. In all alone. Has time. He realizes it. Backhand. Shelf. Caps lead 5-2. I believe Rollers with the assist on that one. We'll try to get those assists for you as accurately as possible as the Capitals lead 5-2 here in this one. Icing upcoming on the Saints. Sure enough, that's the case, as the puck will come all the way back inside the offensive zone once again for Madison. Second of the night. 15th of the season, as I mentioned. That one, Barloggi, they give an assist to. To me, it looks like probably just Rullers will eventually get that one after it's corrected. As the faceoff won back by Dubuque. They're going to need something, and they're going to need something quick. They came back from down 3 last night, but going to be tough here with almost half as much time as they did it last night at the moment. Through neutral ice come the Capitals once again, and out of play. Hopefully everybody's all right here in the crowd at Cap Ice. You don't want to let Brnovic get behind the defense, and he's done it twice tonight already. Proven that he's one of the best players in this league. Third point of the night for Brnovic as well. Just watching the goal over and over again. Probably going to be seen in the nightmares of this Dubuque Fighting Saints squad. Faced off at center ice, one back by the Saints on the near side. Just 5 minutes into period number 3, but just feels like we have a different game on our hands than we had 5 minutes ago. 2 goals as Nagel and Brnovic line mates find a couple of goals for themselves. Puck up that far side wall. Dubuque still holds in. Cornforth turns it over. James Mackey picks up. Capitals start back the other way. Through neutral, Mackey with the turnover, and eventually the Capitals will have another one that goes the way of the Fighting Saints into the offensive zone. It's LaPinta shot into the logo on the chest of Carson Musser, who holds for a whistle. 14:43 to go, period number 3, 5-2 Caps lead. The lead that Madison might not have thought they would have had at this point in the game, facing off against one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference for the first time tonight. Kind of benefiting at the moment. Probably a warning coming to Madison here. This is a face-off one back by Dubuque. Held in for a moment. Delaney kicks it out towards neutral. Will apply some pressure, and LaPinta tries to send it down in deep, but Brendan Lamb's rear end stops that one from doing such. Visenen, far side now. St. Louis achieves the red line and sends it down in deep rather than Fisher Scott. Michaud back beneath the goal line for Madison. Near side, Elias. Elias through neutral ice ahead now for Delaney. Chips it around Eric Paulson, but there to recover is Visenen as Cornforth and company move forward for Dubuque. Jumping ahead, Barron in the high slot, a shot right into the chest. That Ice Holes logo taking a beating tonight for Carson Musser, but that's where he wants him, right in front of him. 14:09 to go, period number 3, 5-2 our score in favor of the Capitals. Delaney tied up at neutral ice with Gavin Cornforth, pair of Massachusetts kids. Face-off will be on the near side. To the left of Musser in goal. Rullers unit out there for Madison. 4 of the 5 goals for Madison coming from this Rullers unit. Nice job to win that one back eventually to the Capitals as Nagel on the far side has it tied up, looking for options here as will eventually drop back to Barloggy. Barloggy up that far side wall. Rullers gets a piece of it to deflect it down in deep. There for it for a moment was Romeo as it comes to the near side wall and out towards neutral ice. The Capitals send it right back in. St. Louis will go to retrieve. St. Louis takes it up that far side wall with 13:45 to go in the period. Rullers deflects that one high in the sky, and it gets tied up in the feet that time of Jack Henry. Henry up the near side wall, pokes it around. It gets caught up. That stick didn't touch the player. That was the puck. That was the puck the whole way. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was the puck that got up in his grill. And I think the linesman wants to chat that over. It was the puck the whole way. As Jack Henry's going to have to go serve 2 minutes in the penalty box. They're actually going to take Barloggy. Barloggy's kind of jawing at him. Hey, that wasn't even me. If you're going to call it on the right guy. You'll see it right in front. Jack Henry's stick never goes anywhere up above his waist. Eventually it does. It's tough. Because in live action, it didn't look like the stick. It looked like the puck. That second angle we just got did kind of look like it was Henry's stick. Maybe Henry more guilty than appeared, but, I mean, either way, it's Barloggy that goes to serve for the high stick, sending Dubuque to their third power play of the night. Caps won the opening draw, and it sends it all the way down. Dubuque needs this power play to result in something. This is their third power play of the night. This one kicked around a bit, and Madison will start back the other way. Rice realizes that he has some bodies on him. They'll send one towards the goal, take it behind the goal for a moment as St. Louis will play it over to the far side now. Near side it comes from Pekarsik to Sondriel. Sondriel up the near side to Visenen. Visenen far side now to Pekarsik. Pekarsik down in the corner. Powell tried to feed it through the slot backdoor to St. Louis. Instead it goes to the middle for Sondriel. Sondriel with the wraparound attempt that had his stick lifted along the way, but it unable to be cleared as it takes an odd bounce off of a stanchion. Pekarsik shot blocked and directed out of play by the Capitals. 13 minutes, just under it, to go in the period. 1:07 to go here on the Barloggy minor penalty. Kuzma's got a buddy over there. They'll be released, Kuzma and Merrill, at the first whistle after 9 minutes here in the period. Face off on the near side to the left of Musser in goal. As that draws one back by Hong, and he tried to just backhand it out of the zone, but Barron will hold for the Saints. Gets it to the near side for LaPinta. They switch units as we're halfway through the man advantage. On the far side, Barron plays it right back into the corner for Paulson. Near side, LaPinta. LaPinta leads this team in power play assists. Out front it goes for a moment. Musser kicks it wide. Capitals send it the length of the ice. 12:13 to go in the third. 40 seconds to go on the Barloggy minor penalty. Powell takes it out to the right of his goaltender, sends it up that far side to Barron. Barron backtracks to Powell up top. Near side now LaPinta. LaPinta spins off of a check there from Rice. Back up top for Powell. Near side LaPinta. Down low chance there. One-timer goes wide. Cornforth slow to get up as the Capitals clear out towards neutral. Head coach Kirk McDonald wondering where the call is, and the Capitals will make a change and now have a 2-on-1. Long has Delaney with him. Long on the far side, a shot deflected into the glass. Dubuque starts the rush back the other way as the Capitals back at full strength. 1 for 3 on the power play tonight are the Fighting Saints, as Long will carry in, at least for a moment before chipping it down into the corner. He'll go for a change. Capitals do a nice job to kill that one off as Jubenville skates through neutral ice with a whole bunch of speed. Jubenville tries to throw on the brakes. Mackey ties his stick up in the slot. A shot goes wide off the glove of Musser. Near side, Jubenville sent up against the wall by Mackey. In the corner now, it's Romeo. Feeds it out front. No one home for Dubuque, or at least no one home able to get a pass as Dubuque comes right back in. Romeo leaves their shot off the right shoulder of Musser. Caroms out towards neutral ice halfway through the period as the Capitals send that one back down in deep. Icing upcoming on Madison. 10:37 to go. Period number 3. 5-2 our score. Players still not released from the penalty box on the far side. Still a minute 36 remaining on those. Delaney a little bit tired at the moment. Face off to come on the far side to the right of Musser in goal. Timeout Madison. Thought that might be coming with how tired the guys looked. Some tired legs for the Caps as the timeout will allow a couple of changes for this Caps squad. Faceoff will be in the defensive zone when things do return to play. Linesman and the referee on that far side, Daniel Fagan, get a quick refresher. The faceoff upcoming. Face-off in the defensive zone to follow. We'll go through a quick scoring summary before we take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard. We usually look at that out-of-town scoreboard at the media timeout. This kind of being a media timeout here. So scoring in this one thus far, we'll go in order. It was Powell striking first for Dubuque on the power play to take a 1-0 lead. 7:35 into the first. 12:20 to go in the first. Bernovic tied it up. Just 30 seconds later, Colin Frank got a 2-1 lead for Dubuque. Lamb and Nagel strike in the second for the Capitals, and then it's Nagel and Bernovic for Madison in period number 3 to get us to where we're at with a 5-2 lead. Faceoff will be on the far side to the right of Musser in goal. Faceoff's won back by Dubuque. Up top on that one, Scott towards the middle, and it's deflected by the stick of Rullers. The Capitals with some numbers coming back the other way. Rullers kind of just deflects that one up into the sky. Bernovic does the same thing and gets it down to the corner as Dubuque eventually does recover after a couple errant passes. It's Michael Barron into the offensive zone. Toby rings it around the far side. It pops out to Bernovic. Already with 2 tonight, his line mate Nagel the same out there. Bernovic drops back to Nagel. Nagel looking for options. Thought about getting it to Rullers and set down low for Bernovic. Bernovic through the legs is Reidler on top of it. Nagel getting into some trouble there. As we reach our media timeout, Reidler goes over to the referee asking, hey, where's the call? I hate to tell you, that call ain't coming right now. As a faceoff will be in the offensive zone when we do return, exactly at the halfway point of period number 3. 5-2 our score. Faceoff upcoming in the offensive zone for Madison. When we do return, we'll take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard presented by our friends at MadCapsHockey.com. MadCapsHockey.com, your one-stop shop for all things Capitals here this season. 6-2, Green Bay with the win over the Chicago Steele there in that one. Fargo falls to Lincoln in regulation. They fall to 19-3-1. I think they'll be all right with a loss there in that one. Waterloo with the 3-2 lead 3-2 win over Des Moines. Unofficial final in overtime. Sioux City takes down Omaha. 6-2 Muskegon beats Sioux Falls in Sioux Falls. And Cedar Rapids with a 4-2 lead after 2 periods of play there in Cedar Rapids. That means right now, Dubuque in second place in the Eastern Conference. Only a point back of this Gamblers squad. 10 minutes to get 3 goals and force overtime. Or the Capitals will take home 2 points here in game 1 of the weekend. Michaud sends one towards the goal, rolls off the end of his stick and just right to a Saints player. The far side corner, Michaud does a nice job to play the body. Capitals try to clear, held in by St. Louis on the far side. Giuliani has it roll off the stick, comes to the near side wall as Long plays it along there for Rice. Rice sends it into the offensive zone. St. Louis, the first one there for either side, towards the middle for Andrew King, who's back and feeds it forward there into the offensive zone. Now come the Saints. Musser on the far side will ring it along the glass, at least tried to, but Dubuque had a player in the way. Dick at the point, sends one towards the goal. It's blocked along the way by Aiden Long right in front of him. A second block shot goes wide. Far side, Capel battles for it with St. Louis. It goes into the corner as the Capitals right back on possession. Near side, Long tried to chip it out. Instead, it's Michaud. Backhands that one along to Capel. Capel continues it up that far side wall. Towards the middle of the ice it goes. Michaud has a body on the near side, but will elect to just achieve the red line and send it down in off the end wall. A nice job by Radler to play it with the backhand and just poke it away from Jack Brandt as Andrew King will try to regroup here for the Saints. Fresh off the bench, it's a Saints player there in Jubenville who will send it down in deep. No icing as Musser goes to play it. Barloghi up against the wall, tied up with a couple of Saints players. Backhands it to his defensive partner, Henry. And the Capitals will try to clear the zone as Hong comes in to clean things up. At the center position, remember, the next whistle, it will be the players on that far side, including Andrew Kuzma, coming out of the box. Capitals into the offensive zone. Brandt to the middle now. Porter looking for options. Takes it to the near side half wall. Backhands it to the far side. Jack Brandt on possession. Up top, Barloghi. Near side, Henry one-timer whiffed on it. Sends another one towards the goal and scores. Whiffed on the first one. Strikes on the second. Jack Henry with his second USHL goal gives Madison a 6-2 lead. Whiffed on that first one, you see it. I think everybody just kind of thought it wasn't going anywhere. Second one, Henry knew it, going in. Barloghi and Porter should get the assists on that one as the Capitals extend the lead to 6-2. Face-off won back by Dubuque as Paulson comes through neutral ice, trying to get it into the offensive end, but he's poked off of his stick. It just chipped and rainbowed ahead by the Capitals before right back into the offensive zone come this Dubuque Fighting Saints squad. Toby up that far side wall. It bounces off of a stanchion kind of awkwardly. Weisenen on the top of the near side has it bounce and knuckle over the goal that time, and Cornforth will recover for Dubuque. Paulson, near side, has it jump over his stick. Does Weisenen, and the Capitals have numbers back the other way. It's Delaney with O'Donnell. Delaney, toe drag shot, that time through the 5-hole, and somehow Radler holds on to it in between the legs. 7:24 remains in the third. As you see that, made it through the 5-hole, and I think the defenseman Weisenen saw it too and just tried to get just somewhat of a stick on it to keep this game a 4-goal lead. Face off on the far side to the left. Of the goaltender Radler, won by Dubuque, and they come out towards neutral ice where the Saints will eventually carry in. St. Louis sidesteps James Mackey. He'll send a body into the wall, but forgets about the puck. Held in at the line by Malbuff, and it goes to the far side where Pekarsik gets things moving to Barron in the middle. Barron, now it's rollers up that far side. Bernovic towards the middle there, and the Capitals will spin out towards neutral at least for a moment before it's offside. Are the Saints. 6:53 to go. Period number 3 6-2 our score in favor of the Madison Capitals. Jack Henry picks up a goal here in the third period, gets in on the action as a faceoff just outside the Capitals' defensive end along that far wall. Faceoff, one back is Kuzma out there for Madison. As a shot from neutral ice held onto by Musser for a whistle. 6:53 to go, period number 3, 6-2 our score. What a night here at Bob Suter's Capitol Ice Arena. Wisconsin night presented by New Glarus Brewing Company. A face-off on the near side to the left of Carson Musser in goal. These jerseys are up for auction. Head over to the Capitals page at madcapshockey.com. You can find it on all our social media as well. Auction will end tomorrow night at 7 p.m. That'll be following the conclusion of the game between the Rough Riders and Caps. Right now, there's still a couple of jerseys yet to be bid on, including our most recent goal scorer, Jack Henry. Henry has possession, gets that one moving forward to Kuzma, who spins off of a couple of stick checks there from Dubuque. Rung around the wall to the near side. Jack Brandt on the near side half wall, plays it down to the corner, looking for Kuzma. Instead, it comes out towards neutral ice. Barron into the offensive zone. Off the near side wall, the Capitals send it the other way. Kuzma towards the middle, just bullied off the puck there by St. Louis, who played the body well. Barron through neutral ice into the offensive zone. Drops back. Capitals take over, looked like at least. Instead, Caleb Dick will hold in. Dick on the near side. Sends it around the wall to the far. Pekarsik, Kuzma trying to get a hold of it as Barloggi up against the wall. Leads for a moment. 5:53 to go, period number 3. 6-2 our score as the Capitals try to kick this one out of the defensive zone. Barloggi up that wall. Hong continues it along as eventually Dubuque will take over. Kuzma behind the defense. Jamison continues it there for Madison as the Caps will go get a couple of changes. Long trying to play the body. Instead, it's back the other way on the stick of a Saints player. Down inside the offensive zone out front. It skips over the stick of Musser, and the Capitals take over on possession as they come back the other way. The stick of Long got tied up in the glass, and still there. It's hanging up against the wall. Hopefully our camera crew in the corner down there can see that up the near side Zamboni wall. Something pretty cool as the stick just sits there. Instead, it's Dubuque right back into the offensive zone. I can't say I've ever seen a stick get caught up at the top of the glass as Mackey sidesteps an individual and comes back the other way. Capel leaves there for Rice. Has a player on the near side. Delaney with a shot. Rebound sits there. Capitals heading to the man advantage for the second time tonight. Didn't quite see who's the guilty party, but Dubuque did take a penalty there. We're awaiting the official ruling. Carson Musser goes to pick that stick up. He's kind of wondering the same thing. What's going on? Aiden Long gets his twig back. Fisher Scott has the box for interference. Capitals, their second power play of the night. Madison's power play numbers not great this season. No secret about it. 14th in the league entering the weekend on the man advantage. Face off on the near side to the right of Radler in goal. Rollers to take the draw. Rice, Delaney, Michaud, and Bernovic out there with him. As a face-off one back. Michaud, far side Bernovic. Bernovic rips one towards the goal, sits out front. Michaud up top gets it right back to him on the far side. Bernovic on the far side, half wall down low. Rollers to the near side now for Rice. Rice looking for options, surveys the field and gets things up top to Michaud. Far side Bernovic sends one towards the middle. Rice shot blockered into the corner as Rice gets it back. Down to the corner, Rollers rings it around to the far side for Bernovic. 1:34 to go on the man advantage as Bernovic leaves there for Delaney. Up top now for Michaud. Back to Delaney on the far side. Near side, Rice sends one towards the goal. A nice save by Radler, and Dubuque able to clear. 4:07 to go, period number 3. Capitals will send things up that far side as Bernovic into the offensive zone. Brnovic has it taken off of his stick. It does escape the zone. He'll go for a change now as the second unit heads out onto the ice. It's Brandt, Henry, O'Donnell, Kuzma, and Hong for Madison. This is their first full 2-minute man advantage here this evening. They're hoping it doesn't last the full 2 minutes as Kuzma into the offensive zone. Kuzma drops back for O'Donnell. O'Donnell back for Henry. Near side now for Hong. Hong back up top for Henry. Near side Kuzma. Shot goes off the glass. Held in for a moment, but eventually Dubuque will clear. 3.5 to go, period number 3. 40 seconds to go on the power play for Madison. Henry picks up behind his own goal. Henry up that far side wall. Thought about dropping back and eventually will to Hong. Hong has Kuzma with him, but he'll carry into the offensive zone and chips it down to the near side corner. Brandt, the first one to it for either side, races to it against Weisenin, and eventually it'll be on the stick of O'Donnell once again. Brandt goes back into the pile for a moment. Hong up the near side wall, has it poked around, and now it's Dubuque back the other way. Weisenin, the defenseman, down in the play offensively short-handed as the Capitals have a couple of bodies tied up behind the play. As Brandt a little slow to get up, but numbers back the other way with the power play. Kuzma backhands one towards the goal. Radler holds for a whistle. Hong puts his head down at a wide open goal. I don't know if Kuzma saw he was there. 2:41 to go, period number 3, 6-2 our score. Capitals in front. 0 for 2 on the man advantage tonight are Madison. Face-offs on that far side to the left of Radler in goal. Capel, Rice, and Long, Jamison, and Toby for Madison. Face-off is won back by the Capitals. Just trickles out of the zone, though, as Jamison holds the Capitals' half of center ice and sends that one down in deep. Rice sends it around once again. It gets caught up in the body of Sam Capel. Capel bullied around there by 3 Fighting Saints players as Powell to the near side to Pekarsik through neutral now and ahead. Cornforth chips it around Toby, but Toby does a nice job of recovering to the far side. Toby out towards neutral ice, and eventually the Capitals are back on possession. At least it looked like they were going to be. Sloppy play, and eventually Toby benefits from it. Toby into the offensive zone, sends one at a sharp angle into the shoulder that time of Radler. Toby will go for a change now, hustling to the bench, and eventually will stay. It looked like he was going to go and give way for James Mackey, instead on the far side into the offensive zone come the Saints. Down in the near side corner, it was Colin Frank trying to feed it towards the middle, and eventually Cornforth will carry in. Cornforth with a shot there, goes off the right pad. Brnovic will settle things down at least for a moment. Trying to slash and hold the stick that time was the player there in number 26, St. Louis. Towards the middle it comes now. Rollers on the near side. Up top, Mackey with a shot there. Sits out front for a moment. A pair of players with 2 goals looking for a hat trick. Unable to find the back of the net as Barlagi sends it down into the corner once again. Brnovic tied up against the wall. Backhands it along for Nagel. Nagel in the corner now has Brnovic out front. Not being guarded there, but at least for a moment. As it comes up top now, Barlagi. Near side, Mackey. Mackey towards the goal, into the logo on the chest of Radler, who holds on for a whistle with 1 minute to go in period number 3. Capitals were trying to get their guys a hat trick. One of them. Rebound was there to be had. And the Capitals will have an offensive zone draw on the near side. Capitals, once again, as I mentioned, will face off against Cedar Rapids tomorrow afternoon right here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. Puck drop scheduled for 3:05 on that one. Delaney wins the draw. Tried to feed it out front for Lamb. Instead it goes to the far side where Lamb just puts it out front where LaPinta takes over for Dubuque. Through neutral ice, Paulson trying to extend a point streak. Feeds it back door. Unable to slam it home though were the Saints. As Lamb on the near side will backhand that one along. Trying to get things out. Instead Weisenin holds. LaPinta on the far side with a shot that goes off the blocker that time of Musser. Caps just clear out to neutral with 30 to go in the period. Puck drop, 3:05 tomorrow. Post-game skate. Should be a fun one here at Cap Ice if you want. Nice atmosphere, all you can eat and drink food, and also a chance to win some meat. Thanks to our friends at UW Provisions. Buy a ticket up in the Eagles Nest for our weekly meat raffle. Not weekly, but monthly meat raffle, as with 7 seconds to go in the period. Capitals will put a stamp on this one. Win number 11 on the season as the Capitals skate away, and they'll be in possession of fourth place here in the Eastern Conference. Goals in this one for Madison. 2 from Bernovic, 2 from Nagel, 1 from Lamb, and 1 from Henry. Capitals with the 6-2 victory. The Ice Holes will come to center ice. What a reign. Ice Holes 1-0 all time. I think they'll remain 1-0 all time. Sadly enough, I don't know if the Ice Holes will be returning anytime soon, but quite the night here at Cap Ice. We appreciate you for joining us here on the broadcast. For our crew back in the back room, we appreciate them as well. Rush Media always doing a great job for us here on Flow Hockey. For our friends on YouTube, we appreciate you as we get the stick tap salute at center ice as the Capitals head off the ice. We'll get your 3 stars of the game on social media presented by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison as Rullers and Bernovic, a little bit of a hug. It'll be his last game with the Capitals for a little bit as he heads to the World Junior Championship in Sweden here coming soon. They pose for a photograph there. That'll do it for our coverage. 6-2 Caps win. Back here tomorrow afternoon. Tickets still available. Tickets on madcapshockey.com. Thanks for joining me for the Capitals Broadcast Network and Flow Hockey. My name is Drew Steele. Thanks for joining me.